check. Okay. Today is going to be about a French proverb. And I love this proverb because when I first heard it, it kind of changed the way that it made a lot of sense. And it goes like this. Petit à petit, l'oiseau se fournit. Meaning, little by little, the bird will make its nest. And my grandpa is the one that showed me this. He's the one that first showed me this one. Not show me this one, but he told me this one. And when I heard it, for some reason, I don't know, it resonated with me quite a bit. And it made a lot of sense to me. Like little by little, the bird makes its nest. And immediately I kind of thought about like how small the bird is, but yet over time it managed to build an entire nest. And when I thought about this, I can relate this one to myself quite a bit, because the way that I do things is that I take my time with things. I go very slow, but I go. You know, I don't stop. But so whatever I embark on, I will achieve it. It will just take time. So I know this about myself because when I try to do anything that is outside of my tempo, my speed, I always end up falling on my face, and I always end up running into a wall. And here's an example. Back when I was in college, I used to have this burning sensation and desire to find out what my passion was. I spent maybe 5 years finding out what my passion was. I tried out countless of hobbies. I tried, just to mention a few, I did snowboarding. I went crazy into snowboarding. I would drive 3 hours every week to go snowboarding because at the time, it felt really liberating to do it. And I thought that's what I wanted to do. So it was just something that I enjoyed, but I always go 100% into the things that I do. So since I enjoyed it so much, I decided, hey, why not get a degree on, it was called something recreation, snowboarding, recreation, something. Essentially, it is about learning about the business of operating a snowboard resort. But at the time, I didn't understand this. I just heard snowboarding and I felt like, wow, this could be something that I could do. So as a result, I took almost a year off in college because of this. So it's debatable whether or not it was a good decision or not, because everything leads to another thing. So after doing that, you know, now I can look back and reflect on a lot of things that I did. So it is valuable, but at the same time, it was an expensive lesson, to put it that way. I could have learned it a lot easier, but it wouldn't stick. So regardless of what it is, it was a lesson that I had to learn. And it was expensive. And I don't take no for an answer. I always have to do things and see it through my own eyes, my own experience, before I can take it for a fact or I can accept it. Otherwise, words are just words. I will not take anything. It could be Bill Gates, Elon Musk. They could share some, $1 billion worth of experience. I still wouldn't take it. I just have to see it through my own eyes and my own experience in myself. And I know this about myself. And so this knowledge is not like it was outside of myself. It's not like I had to go find this knowledge somewhere out in the world. It's not like I open up like this book or a token that I find and suddenly I'm granted this wisdom. It was always there. But now I realize this because everything that happens comes from within. Like my interest, it's not out there that my interest hang on. My interest is not out in the world. It is in here. Like I get interested when I talk about certain things, right? So it's from here. Like it's within me, if that makes sense. So essentially my passion was always there. I just didn't realize it. And here's a perfect example to kind of sum it up. So if there was a bird that would hang around with 10 different turtles, at some point it will think that it is a turtle. It will crawl like them, it would eat like them, it will try to swim, maybe, perhaps. But essentially it will that kind of reminds me of the saying, like, you know, you'll become the hang on. It's like if you hang around with 10 people that smoke, eventually you end up smoking. If you hang around with 10 musicians, you end up playing some kind of instrument, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like that. Like if there was a bird that hung around with turtles, let's say it was born, and then the first thing it saw and the only thing it saw and everything around it was turtles, it probably believed it was a turtle. And you can see this a lot of times when some animals, let's say a cat that hangs around with dogs, it will think it's a dog. And some animals that hang around with other animals, it will believe it is that. But not only when it stops to think about, or it stops to kind of analyze itself or check out, to pause and just say, okay, hang on. What do I have? Like, what's going on? And let's say a bird would stop and analyze, let's say its wings, and then let's say it watches other birds, for instance, say, hey, he got a wing, I got a wing, perhaps I can fly, maybe I can fly, right? So now all of a sudden, what it is what it is, and it can do things of what it is. But let's say a bird, but it thinks it is a hawk, right? So you have a bird that believes, for some reason, let's say society says hawk is cool or whatever, and then hawks are like this majestic, powerful creature, top of the food chain type of birds. It has wings, it has beaks, it has, claws and things like that. So it believes, let's say, like, it believes that it's a hawk, and now it goes out and hunt for food. Now a tiny little bird go hunt for a mouse or a fish or something. Suddenly it quickly realizes that it cannot do what a hawk does. But it has the same qualities, but it cannot do the same thing it can do. So essentially, everyone that exists in this world has their own way of operating. It's just that we don't realize what we have. We don't realize who we are. We don't realize what I, you, anyone are capable of. It is only when we realize what we are capable of and what we are as a, not just as a person, but as an entity, then it can shine. AKA, only when a bird realizes it can fly, then it can fly. Not a bird realizing that it might be a fish, a bird realizing it might be a hawk, but really take a look at itself and say, okay, what am I? So going back into how I thought about finding my passion outside of myself, it was always within. Always. And not only when I realized what I like, and I accepted the things that I like. Because at first I thought philosophy, if I got a degree in philosophy, yeah, that's a whole list of, oh, you fucked up. But it comes down to what you do, not what you have. Same thing with the cards. We all can sit in the same table, the poker table. One person might have the best cards that is available in the entire deck. Another person can have the shittiest card that exists in the entire deck. But yet, it depends on how the person plays the card actually wins. So it comes down to how it's used, how it's utilized, and what one does with what they have. That creates the result, not what they have. Because we all have roughly the same, let's say, limitations. We have 24 hours in a day. Someone can utilize those 24 hours in a much different way, and they yield greater results. But now how they operate is different from everyone else. So to find out what works for us becomes way more efficient versus than doing something that doesn't work for us. For instance, I take my time with things. When I do take my time with things, when I do have a goal in mind, it's just a matter of time before I get it, before I get there. Because little by little, the bird makes its nest. À petit, l'oiseau se fournit. If there's any French speaker that listen to this, and I'm saying this in not incorrectly in some way, please let me know. But I heard this over and over, and I tried to say it the most correct way I can. But either way, the message is the same. But that is going to be it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next one. Cheers.